One question is, how do you stay motivated to create meaningful content and posts on a consistent basis? And here's the secret. I don't. I put it into a time block and I'm going to show up and I'm going to create content, whether I'm motivated to do it or not. I'm a big believer in the fact that action is going to create motivation more than motivation is going to create action. If I sat around and waited until I was motivated to create content, my content would be erratic, right? It'd be really volatile. Like some weeks I'd crank out a bunch of content and some weeks I wouldn't create any. I am going to show up and I'm going to create that content. Now, if I am hyper motivated in some other time of the week or something like that, and I've got the time, sure, I'll go ahead and put in some content and try to get ahead of it. But I'm still showing up to that block of time and I'm still going to create content. I can't promise you that I was motivated to create this video, but it was going to happen. This is my time to create content. And that is what we're going to do. I don't wait for the motivation to create the content. I create the content and it eventually leads to motivation most of the time. There's actually a really good book called Bird by Anne Lamott. I think that's how you pronounce it. And the gist of the book, I won't necessarily ruin it, and I would slaughter if I tried. The way to get started on writing a big, long report about birds that she had to do and was overwhelmed by was bird by bird. Like one by one by one, piece by piece by piece. Maybe it's not what people want to hear, but the fact of the matter is most of the people that I know that are creating content, doing it consistently, have been doing it consistently. They aren't waiting for the motivation to create it. They are creating it, whether they are motivated or not. Now, one other thing that could help is, keep a swipe file or an idea file or something like that. I have a swipe file and it essentially says ideas. And anytime that I have a good idea for a post or a good idea for a video or a good idea for something, I write down the idea, I give it as much context as I can. Sometimes it's an audio note, I drop it in. So then when I sit down for that block, I've already got a head start. And oftentimes I sit down for that block and next week's content is already done. So I'm working on 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now or 4 weeks from now, as long as I'm staying ahead of the curve. But systematize it as much as possible and don't wait for the motivation, create it.